Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It's a chilly start this morning with temperatures in the 40s as you step out the door. I'll show you a nice little warm up in our forecast today and the rest of the week.
Police are investigating a shooting at this apartment complex in North Raleigh. Coming up, I'll tell you if anybody was hurt.
Today marks the start of the Jewish celebration Passover, and people across the world and here in the Triangle are celebrating. Coming up, how the FBI is on high alert this morning because of possible threats.
We have a lot of stuff we're going to be covering this morning, but first we're going to be saying good morning to you. Today this is what, game 2, round 1?
Game 2,
of the
round
Canes taking on the New York Islanders. I know you're from New York, something you're watching carefully there. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. I'm a Rangers fan.
Oh, that's right.
So
Excuse me.
I'll root for the Canes. Let's go Canes. All right, meteorologist Elizabeth Carter standing by. You mentioned in headlines, it is chilly out there.
It is. I was so happy I had my jacket walking in the door this morning, and you're going to want it probably almost every morning this week. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Let's take a live look at Lake Gaston. Looking pretty here. A little blue starting to peek through the clouds. We're seeing mostly cloudy skies right now, but as we get closer to lunchtime, we'll see more and more sunshine. It does stay on the cool side today, though. Not really a great lake day. 45 is our temperature. Our wind is coming out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. It's going to keep that cool air in place. You can watch the clouds dissipate between now and 10 o'clock across parts of the viewing area, but between 10 and 11, there might be a quick sprinkle in our southeastern counties. That should be in and out pretty quickly, and then we'll see more and more sunshine. But again, with that northerly flow, temperatures will stay below normal for today and be very chilly tomorrow morning. Right now, heading out the door, 42 in South Hill, 41 in Roxborough, 47 Southern Pines, 46 Goldsboro, 47 in Rocky Mount. These temperatures are anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees colder than this time yesterday. But the afternoon temperatures will be warmer, certainly. Starting to see the clouds break up closer to lunchtime with mid-50s, and we'll see highs in the low 60s this afternoon. We are looking at one more shot at rain this week. It doesn't look like a lot, but I'll show you how far behind we are for rainfall for the month coming up. Brett?
Thanks, Elizabeth. Let's take a look at traffic right now. 8:02 here on your Monday morning, and we are looking pretty good for the most part, but we do have a number of areas that we are starting to see our normal slowdowns this time of morning, especially on the Beltline right there as you approach Capitol Boulevard. 10-15 extra minutes right now. A lot of red on our sensors right at this point. Glenwood Avenue at Leadmine Road, that's a crash that happened about 20 to 30 minutes ago. We're continuing to keep an eye on that. It's Glenwood Avenue as you're coming towards the Beltline. You see some yellow on our sensors there. So give yourself a couple of extra minutes. We're working to learn exactly what happened out there and if it's going to linger too long. On the southern side of Raleigh, I-40 westbound, 6-minute delay as you approach US 1 right now. It's about what we normally see this time of morning. Here is 40 at South Saunders Street, and you can see a lot of traffic there right past South Saunders Street. It's a pretty big pocket of traffic congestion right now. Give yourself about 5-10 extra minutes if you're using that part of 40 trying to get to US 1 right now.
All right, thank you, Brett. We're following some breaking news this morning. A person was shot in Raleigh. Police are at an apartment complex right now because of this. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Nick, you've been there for a little while now. How has the scene changed since this all happened?
Well, Michelle, I can tell you there's police have come and gone all morning. We've seen detectives here on scene. We do know that one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and this investigation has started at around 3 this morning, and it's still very active at this hour. I'm going to get behind the camera and just show you just how large this crime scene is. We can see, obviously, you can see yellow tape where I'm standing, and as you can see over there, there's officers and police units still investigating. We've seen a lot of walking around near that building over there in the back. But I wanted to get to this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. This is from around 3 this morning. We saw Raleigh police officers actually knock on doors and interview neighbors trying to gather more information about what happened. At this point in time, Raleigh police still aren't sure who fired the gun early this morning. So we're still working with Raleigh police to try to figure out if they're who the suspect in this case will be. Once they have that information, we'll be sure to pass it along once it becomes available. Reporting live in Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Opening statements begin today in former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. The jury is now seated, including 7 men and 5 women and 6 alternatives. One of the first witnesses called could include David Pecker, former publisher of the National Enquirer and a Trump ally. Other key witnesses could include adult film star Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, Karen McDougal, an ex-Playboy model, and Hope Hicks. Trump's former White House communications director. And Trump himself could also be called.
Today is the start of Passover, and this year the holiday comes with worries of potential threats. People of the Jewish faith here in the Triangle and all over the world will observe the holiday with a feast called Seder. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from a Triangle hotel this morning. And Kelsey, the local Jewish community says it's so important they keep their presence known.
Michelle, they do, and in just a few hours, hundreds of people will be here to celebrate the start of Passover. They're doing that through a feast called Seder, and this hotel here will be the meeting place for the largest Passover Seder in the Triangle. Millions of people will be celebrating the start of Passover today. It commemorates the Jewish people's escape from slavery in ancient Egypt. There are mixed emotions ahead of this year's celebration in light of the Israel-Hamas war. The FBI says threats against the American Jewish community were up before the war, but hate crimes spiked since the October 7th attack in Israel. Federal investigators are on high alert this morning because of possible threats. Rabbi Salman Blooming says they are using this day to celebrate and reflect.
Times get tough for our people. It demands unity. We all come together. We all sit together and we all discuss how we can make this world continuously a place that's more of liberty and redemption.
Law enforcement across the Triangle are staying alert, monitoring for any possible threats, and tonight's celebration here at the hotel is scheduled for 7:15. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News.
State Highway Patrol says a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old in a stolen car, they caused a crash on Six Forks Road at Martindale Drive. This happened in Raleigh. Authorities say the chase started just after 5:30 yesterday evening. They spotted a car racing by on I-40 going 90 miles per hour. It then took Six Forks Road before crashing with another vehicle. When officers ran the plate, they saw the car was stolen from Wake Forest. Now, fortunately, there were only minor injuries with this, nothing serious. Troopers tell us that they will file charges against the teenagers soon. In Raleigh, police arrested 3 people, including someone under the age of 18. This started with an attempted traffic stop and then ended in a crash and a gun being fired. Authorities say just after 11 o'clock Saturday night, officers tried to pull over a car in the 300 block of Bertie Drive. The car drove into an embankment and 2 men ran off. Now, as they ran, authorities say one of them fired a gun. Police say the gun was not fired in any particular direction or at anyone specifically, but a female remained in the car, they say. 18-year-old Cameron Williams was charged with resisting delay and obstruction and discharging a firearm. 20-year-old Tatiana Bridges was charged with filing a false police report, and that juvenile that I mentioned was also taken into custody.
And Canes fans are hoping there will be more scenes like this outside of PNC Arena later tonight. This is what it looked like on Saturday as fans filed out of the arena after a Game 1 win over the New York Islanders. The puck drops for Game 2 tonight at 7:30. The Caniacs had the arena rocking as the Canes got that 3-1 win on Saturday. We're expecting to see yet another sold-out crowd for tonight's second game. If you'd like to go, we've checked. The cheapest tickets right now you can find for tonight's game are $75.
U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson is facing criticism from some members of his own party. That's because he joined Democrats to pass an aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. You're taking a live look at the Capitol right now.
Despite efforts by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene to remove him, Johnson remains confident he will hold on to his job. Bree Jackson explains.
On this vote, the ayes are 311 and the nays are 112. The bill is passed.
The U.S. is one step closer to delivering much-needed aid to help Ukraine fend off Russian aggression after the House passed a $95 billion aid package Saturday, a move praised by Ukrainian President Zelensky in an exclusive interview on Meet the Press.
First of all, I'd like to say thanks to the Congress for the bipartisan support. And I'd like to say thanks to Speaker Johnson and President Biden. Indeed, it is so important, this support from the United States of America. And
the measure, which provides money for Israel, Taiwan, and more than $60 billion for Ukraine, received pushback from a small group of Republicans. They were upset that Speaker Johnson worked across party lines to get the job done.
I think every American in this country should be furious.
Johnson now faces the threat of being removed from the speakership by members of his own party.
Today, the pressure cooker is at a very high local maximum because he has taken away every bit of leverage we had to do something on the border by sending $100 billion overseas.
But Democrats and some Republicans are vowing to vote for Johnson to remain Speaker.
When the motion to vacate is threatened every week in the Congress, that is being abused. And I think we need to fix that.
House Speaker Johnson is standing firm, saying he has a job to do and he's not going anywhere.
That was Bree Jackson reporting. The Senate is expected to vote on the foreign aid package as soon as tomorrow.
The North Carolina Museum of Natural Science's new Dueling Dinos exhibit opens to the public next Saturday. The display will give you the opportunity to learn the history behind two well-known dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaur and the Triceratops. And so tonight at 6 o'clock over on WRAL, we are going to give you an inside look at the exhibit and lab. Meteorologist Kat Campbell will show you how your family can watch scientists at work and do some discovering of your own. Again, that is only on WRAL tonight at 6 o'clock. So ahead, summer travel, it is ramping up and airlines say they need more planes. The warning about the aircraft shortage and what that could mean for your wallet.
Plus, a suspected drunk driver in Michigan accused of crashing into a building and killing 2 children. This morning, a look at the moments that led up to that crash.
And of course, still some cloudy skies out there from yesterday's system that rolled through. We're going to see a chilly morning for the next several days, but some nice weather ahead too. Wednesday, we may see a sprinkle. I'll walk you through that coming up.
You know what? This is a nice, calm scene, looking beautiful there at Carolina Beach. Some people out there enjoying a lovely day over there, although there's a little bit of white caps, so maybe don't get into the water there. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, though, where we are not seeing white caps here, though things are calm for right now, at least.
Yeah, that does look gorgeous, doesn't it? All right, so some pretty views around here, too. Still a good bit of cloud cover left over from yesterday, but we're already beginning to see some breaks in the clouds, and as we get closer to lunchtime, we'll see more and more sunshine. A live look at Goldsboro there, and Apex, Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant and Fayetteville. Really everywhere, we're starting to see the clouds thin out, and there are even some holes, a little bit of blue peeking through in a few spots. There's a look at the cold front that helped to bring us such a wet, chilly, gray day yesterday. That's moving on out. We do still have some lingering cloud cover, and or I should say the radar is showing some showers over us, but none of that's reaching the ground. We're not seeing any wet conditions currently, but a little later this morning, we might see a shower. I'll show you that on Futurecast. You know, I was really thinking we might have a nice little soaking. The models were showing maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and we did get a 1/2 inch to 3/4 in a few places, but it was really widespread, more like a 1/4 to 1/2 inch. We could definitely use some rain. When the drought monitor came out last, we did move into abnormally dry conditions in a lot of places. We had a few counties that were abnormally dry, but this past week we added a bunch of counties to that, so we're definitely in need of some rain. So far for the month of April, we haven't even hit 1 inch total for the whole month, and so we are 1.5 inches behind for the month, and we don't have that much time left. And we really don't have much rain in the forecast for this week. We'll continue to see our skies clearing with a quick sprinkle in our southeastern counties between 11 and noon. And then our flow continues to be out of the north today. So we'll stay cool, about 10 degrees cooler than normal, but it should be nice and sunny this afternoon. Our next chance of rain comes on Wednesday. This cold front comes swinging through. It'll be fairly moisture starved. It does look like there's some showers that show up here, but they're likely to be extremely light. This is the European model, and taking a look at the American model, there's even less rain than that shows up. So not a whole lot of hope that we're going to add much in the rain gauges on Wednesday. This morning, a quick shower is possible, and then just a 20% chance on Wednesday. We'll keep watching to see if we need to adjust to that. 7-day forecast has some really lovely temperatures, especially starting Tuesday through Saturday, with highs in the low to mid 70s, but some chilly mornings too. 41 officially tomorrow morning in the Triangle, but there are a lot of places that are going to end up with temperatures in the 30s coming up in about 30 minutes. I'll walk you through who sees the 30s for tomorrow morning. We do have one day in the 80s in our forecast there Sunday. Looking nice, Brett.
Looking forward to that, Elizabeth. Thank you. And let's take a look at traffic. 816 right now, and 8-minute delay coming in on US 1 southbound from the Wake Forest area. Pretty much what we normally see this time of morning, but do give yourself a few extra minutes. On the southern side of Raleigh, about 5-10 extra minutes if you're using 40 westbound trying to get to US 1, and then the Beltline itself, 440 westbound. Give yourself 5-10 extra minutes if you're heading over to towards Capitol Boulevard. Over in Durham, delay free on all of our major routes into Durham. About a 5-10 minute delay on the Durham Freeway northbound trying to get into downtown Durham right now. Let's take a live look at 40 at South Saunders Street. Improved a little bit over the last few minutes, but there is that pocket of congestion right past South Saunders Street that we're continuing to keep an eye on. I'll let you know if any other crashes pop up.
All right, thank you, Brad. This video behind me shows the moment authorities say a suspected drunk driver, you see that right there, crashed into a building, killing 2 children, a brother and sister. This happened in Michigan on Saturday during a birthday party. Authorities say the 66-year-old driver's car went at least 25 feet into that boat club before it finally stopped. The children who died were an 8-year-old girl and her 5-year-old brother. Their mother and older brother are in critical condition, according to their aunt in a GoFundMe post. At least 7 other people are in the hospital after this.
And police in Los Angeles have made an arrest after the city's mayor had her home broken into. Officers responded to Mayor Karen Bass's home early Sunday morning. Bass and her family were home as that break-in happened. Authorities say someone broke a window and got into the home. Nobody was hurt. Police have not said if anything was stolen.
And a manhunt is happening in Chicago. A police officer was shot and killed as he was on his way home after his shift, according to authorities. Officer Luis Huesca was shot several times early yesterday morning. Other officers found him dead when they responded to a ShotSpotter alert. He was still wearing his uniform. Police say the person or people who shot him stole his car. Huesca was just 2 days shy of his 31st birthday.
Columbia University will not have any classes on campus today as tensions are rising over pro-Palestinian protests there as Passover begins. The school will have remote learning today along with increased security patrols. More than 100 protesters have been arrested over the past few days. Protesters had reportedly been threatening the safety of Jewish students on campus. The White House issued a statement calling the protests blatantly anti-Semitic, unconscionable, and dangerous.
Today marks the start of National Crime Victim Rights Week. To honor victims and their families in North Carolina, the U.S. Attorney's offices from across the state are collaborating with leaders and organizations. They're hosting a vigil tonight from 6 to 7 o'clock at the Wake County Commons building in Raleigh, and the public is invited to attend.
Today, Amtrak is celebrating its newly renovated station in Durham. A ribbon cutting will happen at 11 o'clock this morning at Durham Station on West Main Street. The $1.5 million renovation project includes accessibility improvements and other upgrades. The chief of the Federal Railroad Administration will join Mayor Leonardo Williams and other officials at that ceremony. And heading into what's expected to be a record summer travel season, airlines say they have fewer planes than what they'd like, which means your ticket price could go up. U.S. airlines are expected to receive 40% fewer planes than they planned for last year. United Airlines, along with Southwest, actually pausing hiring because they just don't need the staff. Some airlines also saying they don't know how many planes they can fly. And of course, the Boeing 737 MAX production delays potentially playing into the issue. Boeing is under a lot of scrutiny right now. They're under investigation by the FAA after that door plug blowout on the Alaska Airlines flight earlier this year. All of this has major airlines bracing for a record-breaking season.
Means higher prices, but also planes that are going to be more full than they would otherwise be.
And airlines have just months left before summer travel takes off. And Boeing's number of airplane deliveries sank to 83 in their latest quarter. That's compared to the 157 the one prior.
A lot of you contacted WRAL News asking about water that smells or tastes like dirt. Well, the city of Raleigh posted an explanation on its website. City officials say the odor and the flavor are the result of warmer temperatures and more sunlight, and that causes algae changes in Falls Lake and Lake Benson, which supply the city's water, as you know. Raleigh Water is working to treat the water to remove the taste and smell, but the city says, yes, the water is still safe to drink.
This morning, we'll learn more about an initiative to help women and children facing situational homelessness in Knightdale. That's when people find themselves homeless due to a traumatic circumstance like a sudden job loss. Raleigh Rescue Mission is partnering with Knightdale for what they call Project Hope. The plan is to launch a new campus to serve up to 350 women and children. There will be a family suite, a child learning center, dining hall, counseling centers, and much more. The announcement is set for 10:30 this morning.
The UNC women's tennis team are the champions of the ACC. They won the title by beating Virginia in the final yesterday. It is the first conference title for the Tar Heels since 2021. And now they're waiting to find out who they will face first in the NCAA tournament.
Durham celebrated Earth Day one day early, even in the rain yesterday. The city welcomed people of all ages to talk about the importance of climate change, how it's affecting our planet, and what we can do to help. Organizers say yesterday's event was all about celebrating Earth and taking action on how to protect it, including reducing energy usage. Sunday's event also looked at how the city has improved its carbon footprint.
The Carolina Hurricanes are off to a great start in round one of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Still ahead, the hope from fans to keep that momentum going.
Plus, a movie theater chain facing allegations of skipping out on its drinks. Coming up, the lawsuit one Texas man has filed against Cinemark for cups that he says are too small.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Starting off chilly this morning. And this is something we haven't seen in quite a while, Elizabeth. Parts of us under a frost advisory.
Yeah, tonight we're going to see some widespread 30s, especially up near the Virginia line. So Mecklenburg County and Northampton County under that frost advisory for some mid 30s. We're going to take a closer look at some of those temperatures for tonight. 36 Roxborough, 38 South Hill, 38 Rocky Mount, 39 in Goldsboro. And we'll take a look at even more towns coming up in just a bit. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. Mostly cloudy skies across the area, some lingering clouds from yesterday. And our temperatures are mostly in the 40s now. 43 in Lewisburg, 42 South Hill, 49 as you're heading out the door. Mid 50s at lunchtime. And if you're going to be running after work, temperatures will be great for running in the mid 60s.
Let's take a look at traffic right now. An update here on a couple of different things that are happening out there on the roadways. Still slow down on the southern side of Raleigh near South Saunders Street. We'll get to that in a second. Crash at Glenwood Avenue and Lead Mine Road. That's in the clearing stages at this point, which is good news. Seeing some green on the sensors. And here is our live look at 40 at South Saunders Street. We're continuing to, actually this is actually 40 at Trailwood Drive. We'll update that graphic. And it's past South Saunders Street where that delay is still continuing to linger. Michelle, keeping an eye on that over on Fox 50.
All right, thanks, Brett. One person is in the hospital after a shooting at an apartment complex in Raleigh. This happened on North Hills Drive around 2:30 this morning. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. A suspect is not in custody. And today marks the start of the Jewish celebration Passover. People across the world and in the Triangle are celebrating with a feast called Seder. The FBI on high alert this morning because of possible threats. The largest Passover Seder in the Triangle is scheduled to happen tonight in Carborough at 7:15. Next on Fox 50, local TikTok influencers sharing their thoughts about lawmakers' push to ban the app. Everywhere you look this morning, it is just so beautiful. This is a live look at Franklinton. You can see the blue skies, a couple clouds in the sky, but let me tell you, it's a nice day. It is chilly. You'll need a jacket as you walk out the door. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner telling us how chilly we're feeling right now.
Definitely an improvement over yesterday where we were in the upper 40s, low 50s in the afternoon with that drizzle and cloud cover. Here's a live look at Durham. We're starting to see the clouds thin out a little bit here as well. We will see more and more sunshine as we get closer to lunchtime, but it is chilly out there. Temperature in the Triangle at 46, and it's also a little bit breezy. Winds northeast at 14 miles per hour. We'll see some gusts up to around 20 this afternoon as we're making that transition to some warmer temperatures. By lunchtime, mid 50s, and we'll see highs in the mid 60s this afternoon. The low pressure system, the front that helped to bring us the rain yesterday, is sliding on out of here. We are dealing with a little bit of cloud cover this morning, and we may see a sprinkle or two in our southeastern counties this morning. Notice it would be quick and move right on out of here between, say, 11 and 12 or so. And then partly cloudy through the afternoon. We still have a flow coming out of the north, and so it will feel chilly with the breeze. Our temperatures right now, 41 in Roxborough, 40 in Henderson, 43 in Lewisburg, and 46 in Durham. So it's still chilly. These temperatures haven't budged a whole lot yet this morning. 47 Sanford and Irwin, 46 in Smithfield, 48 degrees in Clinton. Around town, we'll reach 64 in Raleigh, 63 in Durham, and 65 in Fayetteville with increasing sunshine. But all day we have our flow coming out of the north. You see those arrows pushing down to the south. So we're going to see some chilly temperatures this afternoon and tomorrow. As a matter of fact, early tomorrow morning, frost advisory in effect for Mecklenburg County, Virginia, and Northampton County. We'll likely see temperatures in the mid-30s there. This is a look at towns and temperatures for tomorrow morning. 36 Roxborough, 38 Clarksville and South Hill, 38 Lewisburg, 36 and Rocky Mount, 37 Roanoke Rapids, 39 Wilson and Goldsboro. So we're going to see widespread mid to upper 30s, 36 in Robbins, 39 in Southern Pines, 41 Fayetteville, 40 and Clinton. So it's going to be a little bit colder for tomorrow morning. 51 is our normal low. We get back to 51 Wednesday morning, but more 40s for Thursday and Friday. So you're not going to be able to put the jackets away just yet. 74 is our normal high, 10 degrees below that today, but then we're going to settle in to temperatures near normal Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday even. We do have one day in the 80s. We're going to hit that on Sunday. We have only a small chance of rain in our forecast now through the end of the weekend. And Wednesday, a cold front comes through. It'll be fairly moisture starved, but there could be just a few light showers.
Looking like a pretty good week. Thank you, Elizabeth. The push from lawmakers to ban TikTok is headed to the Senate and could soon reach the president's desk. Now, if it's signed into law, it would face big legal challenges almost immediately. Lawmakers argue TikTok could be a national security risk, and they want the app to cut ties with its Chinese parent company. Local influencer Grace Hunter has gained more than 5 million followers over 3 months. Let's put things into perspective. Influencers of her size could make around $20,000 a month through the app. Hunter and others are now holding their breath, just waiting to hear what happens in this situation.
Like TikTok just made it a little easier. It kind of evened the playing field for everybody. I'd be like, all that hard work for just for it to be gone. Oh, gosh.
The Senate and the president are expected to give their approval for this bill, and it will be up to the courts, though, to determine if it's legal.
Now to our continuing coverage of Decision 2024. A new poll from NBC News shows interest in this year's presidential election is low. Fewer people say they are very interested in the race than they were in the last 4 presidential elections.
And the poll finds that Biden is cutting into Trump's previous lead to just 2 points in a head-to-head contest. Trump gets 46% of the vote compared to Biden with 44%. Now, in January, it was Trump 47%, Biden 42%.
And when asked which candidate is better when dealing with the issue of abortion, 46% picked Biden, 31% said Trump. And Biden also leads Trump when it comes to bringing the country together, 37 to 28%.
And Biden's job performance numbers have improved a small amount as well, although they are still well below 50%. 42% of voters approve of Biden's job, while 56% disapprove. Back in January, Biden's approval numbers were 5 points lower, and the disapproval percentage was 4 points higher. A movie theater chain is facing accusations of underfilling its drinks. A Texas man filed a lawsuit against Cinemark movie theaters, claiming that the chain's 24-ounce drink cups only hold a maximum of 22 ounces. The lawsuit says the man measured the cup at his home after noticing that the cup was likely smaller than advertised. Well, the customer claims Cinemark is participating in false advertising that violates state and federal laws. I know that other places have been sued similar. I think Subway also got sued because it was marketing as a $5 footlong and it wasn't truly
Yeah.
Gotta be careful about that marketing.
All right, well, Kevin Bacon kept his promise to return to the high school where Footloose was filmed 40 years ago, and the school is set to be demolished this summer.
As Allie Jackson reports, the students fought for their right to get Kevin Bacon to dance.
Boys, let's dance! An iconic movie with an iconic star. Putting Utah's Payson High School on the map. These scenes shot there 40 years ago. But you know who's been working so hard? The current students who weren't even born when Footloose came out. And now, after a years-long Bacon to Payson online campaign, Kevin Bacon's back.
It's been a long time. It's amazing the power that this movie has had to just kind of bring people together.
Just ahead of Payson's prom night, and just before the school's torn down next year, Bacon telling today's Kaylee Hartung how much it all means.
For all the effort these students put in getting Bacon to Payson, what finally put you over the edge?
I think seeing seeing the commitment to turn it into a day of giving and fundraising and good positive energy. Look, you just can't turn that down.
Like Ren, Bacon's on a mission, uniting the community, filling care bags for his 6 Degrees charity. And then, yes, at prom, the students who worked to get Bacon to the building, following his footloose footsteps.
Everyone danced to Footloose at the prom. It was a party.
Oh, yeah, it was cool.
For Ruby Raff and Nick Dancy, it's more than just a movie. It's the memory of a lifetime.
I think that was the coolest part, was just to see how he used his celebrity powers, per se, to bring everyone together. And that was the reason it all worked.
What did it feel like for you when you got to see and meet Kevin Bacon?
Seeing him in person was like surreal. Like, he walked out and they played Footloose, and I immediately just started crying. That just made it all worthwhile, to know that he's proud of us and that he's happy that he came.
There's a life lesson in that moment, too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish it.
That was Hallie Jackson reporting. I also love that he did it as long as there was like giving back and helping the community. I love that. The high school's principal was just 7 years old when Footloose was filmed, and he says he remembers the day the infamous tractor race scene was filmed like it was yesterday.
That is just so cool. I love it. Mary J. Blige, Cher, Ozzy Osbourne, and more will officially be anointed as rock and roll royalty. We now know who will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Among the many inductees, Mary J. Blige posted this video to her Instagram thanking her fans. Jimmy Buffett was selected as one of their recipients for the Musical Excellence Award.
Tonight you can catch another performance from Goldsboro's Tay Lewis on The Voice. That clip never gets old. Lewis is now a member of Team Dan and Shay. He was originally part of Team Reba, you may recall, but lost a knockout matchup in his last appearance on the show. Dan and Shay are giving him a second chance, though. The Voice airs at 8 o'clock tonight on WRAL.
Big fan. Love him. All right, well, when you go on Google today, you'll see a special doodle celebrating Earth Day. The doodle features aerial photos from all over the world that spell out Google. It's made up of islands, glaciers, rivers, and other formations. Google also shared a video showing even more images that look like letters. Google says the pictures show the world's natural beauty and also that there's much to do to address the climate crisis. And before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.